Hi everyone, welcome to Natural Wonders. You know, it's a lovely time of year right now. It's beautiful, isn't it, autumn? I really love it, so I decided I'm going to do a really beautiful autumn painting for you all. Bit of a difference, it's an acrylics and it's also using a sponge. So we'll be using this lovely sponge and a few minimal brushes like the filbert brush, fan brush, liner brush needed, a decent liner brush. So basically I'll run the colours across the screen that you're going to need to paint along with us, and let's get started. Right, so I'm using a paper plate, just a straight up paper plate, and I'm pulling through the yellow, straight yellow, and then I'm tapping into it. And as you tap into it, you'll notice you'll get a decent amount of paint on there. That's what you need, a good amount of paint, a good quantity. Now with that, I'm just going to actually come into the top of these trees. Now as I say to you, it's autumn, it's an autumn time scene that I'm doing, so there's going to be a lot of bright colours in this picture, a lot of bright colours. It's going to be really exciting to do this one for you all, and I love using these foam sponges. This is a natural sponge and you can see all the holes in it, and it gives you some really beautiful details for trees and stuff of that nature. And then I'm going to come up a bit. I'm just going to leave the top part where the sky is white. You're going to have some leaves coming into that, you see, from above where the trees are, and the leaves will be coming from above. So again, you need a decent amount of paint when doing this. I'm just going all the way along the top edge basically into there. Spread it about pretty evenly, don't have more in one spot than another. Right, and then a little bit of that will come down into here, but a lot of that's going to be darker just in that area. Right, over here it needs to come down to about ground level, which is somewhere around there. And I'll put some of that yellow in there everywhere. Start off with your lightest colours with this, with the yellows, and then I'll start bringing in the red and making oranges, and then we'll actually come into browns and all kinds of different stuff. Put a little bit of that yellow over in there, but you don't want much of it. Bring that down a bit. Don't be scared of really giving it a good old tap when you're doing this. A proper good tap, because it needs it to get all these lovely impressions and these lovely marks that you get on here. It's nice. So don't cover it all, but leave some of the white still showing through, because that will actually really look nice. Right, so I've got now in this plate some vermilion, which is a beautiful red. Now I've got yellow on the brush already, but I'm just going to tap that out on the plate there, and then I'm just going to go into this yellow and make a nice orange with that. See that? I'm just creating a really nice orange. I hope it's not, I don't want it too dark, it needs to be the right shade. So I've kept the yellow with me so that I can just put out the correct amount rather than wasting paint, because acrylics dry fast. Right, again some more yellow into that. Something about like that is what I was searching for. So up in here, and just begin touching some of that in. Maybe a smidgen more of the yellow into that. Yeah, that's it. And pretty much comes right up. It's a bit everywhere in this part. Just leave the tops yellow, really lovely yellow. And then we can just start sticking this orange in a bit lower down in here. into this yellow. Even though right over in all of this, we've got a bit of this orange colour. Make it nice and sporadic. There. Get a few of them autumn colours going on in that spot. A bit more red, more yellow, into the red. And then just down in here, start seeing a bit more of a reddy hue just in there. I'm just going to tap some vermilion into that. Again, I'm going to get some more yellow out. Use a lot of yellow in this, so I'll probably use a full tube, this big full tube, just doing this one painting. There. Again, I've just mixed it with the crimson, with the vermilion red. Sorry, just mixing that with that, make that lovely orange, and then down in here, just really stick a lot in. It's going to be dark towards the base of these trees. That's pretty much exactly what I was wanting. Right down into there. Lovely colours to use. So vibrant and bright. Just in at the very base there. Tap some of that up into there as well. Now, we've got a few of these reds coming through, but it actually turns to more of an umber. So I'm just going to get some raw umber, which is a brown, a dark brown. While I've still got the colours on the sponge, I'm just going to pull a bit of that dark into it, see that? And then tap. So it mixes with all them oranges and that you've got in there. That's it. And then just over in here, we'll start to see a few of these coming into it. Especially lower down, it's a lot darker down in there. You can also use the yellow with that, with the brown, and that'll create a few different shades of colour as well. And it gets quite dark in this edge, so you can really go to town with it. I want to make it a bit darker in there anyway, just up in these areas. Go into the yellow a bit with that. Don't kill all them lovely colours, because it gets darker towards this edge, but it stays light over here. I still get a bit more of that vermilion, so that's the red into the brown that I've just put in, and then just to darken it on this bottom edge. Quite deep, you see, is the undergrowth down there. There we go. Happy. And again, that same colour with the red. I'm just going to bring it up here. Start touching up into this area a slight amount, just a small amount. Bit more of the darker brown, because just in here it's going to get very dark. Just in that corner edge. So I want to contrast some light leaves against this dark, you see. That's my plan of action. That's what I'm aiming on doing. that on. Darker in there. And then suddenly you just get lighter over that area. Again, I'll put some more brown out. I really enjoy doing these demos, especially the autumn colours. I just really get me excited. And we've got some beautiful woodlands around here as well, gorgeous. So we've got a lot of inspiration with the colours and the tones. You will bounce around a lot with your easel, your canvas when you do this, because you're putting a lot of pressure on, but just don't worry about it. And then once you start running out a tiny bit of colour, I'm just going to put a little bit of dark down in this bottom area, just in here. Maybe I can put a few little dark areas just up in there as well, just here and there though. I want it to stay really light at this edge. Right, so I'm going to go back into my vermilion, into the same colours, and then some yellow as well. And with that I'm just going to come back up into here, put a bit more of that in. Sometimes just touch the red. And just here and there put bits of red in, especially over there, into these darks. See that? Just put some reds into the dark spots. And down in here we want everything to be more or less contrasted against the dark. So I'm saving that, I'm making it just dark enough in here so that it will all contrast when I put some light trees in front. Because I'm after that contrast always, using the darks and the lights against each other. A bit more red just in there. I'll just get a bit more yellow out. I'm going to paint some lovely trees in front of these background ones. So just in the background we'll start to see some limbs coming into some of these trees, and it should be fun. Can't wait. So vermilion, the brown and the yellow. I'm going to use a bit more of that over here. Don't want it quite so red in there. And even up in here I'm going to just gently touch a few of them browns in, just into where the yellow was, where I put the yellow before. Just touch into that. There. Even up in here, just gentle. You got a lot of paint on your thingy now, on your sponge, so you don't need to touch heavy. Very gentle. We're going to have trees and stuff in front of this. You notice I've let it dry slightly though before I do this, because I didn't want it to mush together with the rest of it, see. Leave a few little glowing areas down in this spot. Right, I'm just back to the brown again, the dark brown. And I'm just using that dark brown in this lower area again. Because I really do want to get some good contrast over here. And even put some of them yellows in. A few of them yellows over the crimson. Yeah, just in there. You can just put layer after layer after layer in. See, I'm going to have some crimson leaves which are coming over the top of all this, so that shouldn't really make it quite so red. Just put a bit more yellow over it. And then into the yellow is the brown. I've got the raw umber straight tap into that, and then you can come back in and just really darken this area off, and then I'll let this dry. It's still quite dense in here, so it needs some in there, some of this dark brown, and it goes quite dense all the way up actually. Really deep dark tones in them dense areas. See that? And then into the light areas, that'll gently disappear all the darks. And I want it still a bit darker just down here at the base, so I can just, while that brown's on there, just use some of that just at the base. Down in there also, because I want it to have a, like it's got a raised bank either side. I can paint some leaves in the floor, on the floor, like you get at this time of year, and also can have some little embankments. And against this, I want to contrast some really lovely yellows, but to do that you need to let it dry completely. It needs to be dry, totally and utterly dry. There. I'm enjoying this. Yeah. Bit of shadow just up in there. Helps the light actually stand out a little bit more, does that, by just having that bit in there. Brilliant. So what I will do, I will actually dry it off with a hairdryer. Just speeds the process up a bit, but it's better to do it when it's completely dry the next stage. So we get a bit more of that dark brown, and I'm just going to darken this off again, just in here. I really want to exaggerate this side being darker, therefore the light's coming in from over this way. It. Right, so I'm just going to start off. I'm going to use some straight yellow and white together. I'm just going to use the fan brush this time. So I'm going to get the big fan brush. I'm just going to load a little bit of white and some yellow, lemon yellow. So it's still yellow, but there's a bit of white to it, and what that does is it just makes it opaque. Now this has all been dried with a hairdryer, as all of this, so I'm just going to come in here and just paint some indications for a little bush that we've got in here. First you use the paint up, and then you can come back gently, just use the corner, just in there. Got a bush that's lit up in yellow. Don't want to kill all the darks. Just want to, here and there, indicate some little yellow leaves going on. So I just use an upward movement, pretty much, just like so. You can do individual leaves if you like with this, but I just want to create the effect that there's something going on in there. Once you've run out of paint, come back up and you can actually fit a bit of detail into it as well, and it'll stand out against this dark that you put on there. That's the whole idea. Just want it to stand out really well. Now just going to use that same colour just up in here, about here. There. I'm just using this lovely yellow colour and just indicating some little highlighted leaves that are going on in there. I'll actually put a little bit of orange on these as well. But just for now, that's fine. Leave some of the dark showing through here and there, and then just use that corner of the brush. That white is in there to make it opaque, so that it stands out nice and opaque. You need that colour to be really bright, just to make it stand out proper. There. Put some branches out to these leaves as well. I'm going to put some, like this one tree there, this little bush down there. Just like that. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a little bit of the vermilion, the red, and I'm going to make it into an orange. But because there's a bit of white in there, it will also be like a pinky white, if you like. A pinky orange. See that? Peach. It's like a peach colour. Push into that and get a ridge of paint. And then just here and there, just want to touch some of that colour. I'm going to use this in this painting for quite a few different things, because it's lovely. There's this colour. See then where you've got that? A little bit of it in there. Just now and again. We'll go over this again. I'm just trying to get a few little individuals going on in there. We'll be putting trunks and stuff like that up to all this. So I'm just going to use the vermilion with a sponge again. And I'm just going to put a bit of the yellow into that red. So it's a nice orange, a reddy orange. And I'm just going to use that just down in here over the top. A bit more yellow. Just over the top of some of this dark area. But you need the vermilion as well. Vermilion and the yellow. See that? It just puts all them little details in there. Sometimes just the yellow. And then that'll put some little individual things going on back there that you can see. See like there, a little yellow bush. All sorts that you can do. Now I want to use a lot more of this bright red over in here. So while I've got that paint on the brush, I'm going to get some more vermilion out. And then, because like I said, that's got a bit of white in with it, that yellow, I'm going to grab that, I'm going to pull it there, and then a bit of the vermilion with it as well. Because I think that's exactly what colour I'm wanting. So I'm just mixing that up properly. And then I can use that colour and just put some over here, like for a bush that's further back in the background. And I'm just going to put some little indications of leaves for this background tree, which are red, really beautiful red. But you do need a hell of a lot of colour for this. There's also a few that actually work their way right up into here. So what I'll do is I'll touch it there. A few of the red ones, even up to there. They're just on their own. Don't kill all that yellow. Allow a little bit of it to still show through. Right, so again, just want to use the straight yellow. Still got some white on this plate, so just going to use the straight yellow. I'm going to actually use the opposite side of the sponge, just the clean side. Some white, a load of yellow in there. And then, just where I wanted this bush, I'm going to touch a few little yellow spots in for it. That's it, just to make it that bit more distinct, stand out a bit better. Same up in here. I'll make this one stand out a bit more. Really make it a lot brighter. That's it. Love it. You actually change the angles and all that as well when you're doing this. It really works. Over in here, put a bit of that yellow and white. Just sparkle it up now and again. Really gives it a zing and a lovely glow. Excellent. Now just dry that off. Always make sure you clean these straight away with the acrylics, because the sponges will dry within minutes.